What's up, everyone? Welcome into the All 22 NFL podcast. You got Chris and Ray, and today we are jumping into the quarterback film review and starting it off with maybe the most controversial quarterback in this draft class, which is Jaxson Dart, the quarterback out of Ole Miss. He is 6'2", 225 pounds. He was a 3-year starter at Ole Miss, played about half a season at USC. He has 50 big-time throws and 23 turnover-worthy plays in the past 2 years, 11.9 average depth of target, 19.2 pressure to sack rate, and 2.77 time to throw. Ray, we are going to jump into this right away. Let's go ahead and get into play number one.
All right, let's do it. Jaxson Dart. So first play here, we're going to review the Kentucky game. And just as a primer, again, we show some clips to highlight a lot of trends that we see in a given player, not just highlights or just lowlights. We're trying to give you a full picture of a player here. So we have several plays from the Kentucky game in particular for Jaxson Dart, just to give you, again, a picture of who this player is as a quarterback and what his prospects could be at the next level. So we're just going to go ahead and run it here. You see here, shotgun. I believe this is third down. I don't love the play call here. And you'll see that this is what Dart does. He can make things happen. No receiver breaks open immediately. Defense has a good call for this, but we'll go ahead, scramble a bit, make something happen. He's not necessarily Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson back there, but he's mobile. So he buys himself some time, rolls out to the right, finds a receiver right at the marker, and keeps the play alive. So we'll just see it from the other angle here again. Does a decent job surveying the field, kind of drifts a little bit in the pocket, goes ahead, buys some time, and nice improvisation for a first down here.
There are some good and bad things on the play, right? Like Jaxson Dart didn't really have to panic. He doesn't have to drift. If that guy doesn't fall down, he kind of just drifted right into where the pressure was coming from, which is something obviously we don't like. But he does show that athleticism. He shows he can throw on the run, something that I kind of notice is pretty good on his part, right? Like he does this pretty often, can throw with some different arm angles as well. Here, he's kind of elevated, does that little like Jordan pose throw. And it looked good. It looked good. He turned what was kind of a negative disrupted play into a positive. So good on him for that one.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and run it. Next play here for Jaxson Dart. We're just going to let it run here. See break open over the middle. The dig route, a lot of space. Steps up in the pocket, throws through contact for a touchdown. So positive result play here. This one probably goes on the highlight reels that you see on YouTube and everywhere else. But to break it down a little bit further, I think if you go back, and I say that as if I'm not actually in control here, so I will go back to the first view. And I do think, again, we're looking at how this translates into the NFL. I think this has to be just a hair quicker. Decent pocket to step in. He kind of has a lot of depth here, but right at this point, I mean, the middle is opened up. Number 9 is breaking to that open space. There's nothing preventing him from getting rid of this ball right now. He's going to take a hit either way, but there's nothing really preventing him from releasing the ball right now or 2 frames ago. And you're not always going to shrug off D linemen in the pocket when you step up and wait until your receiver is this open across the middle to go ahead and make this throw. So this is almost like a see it, then throw it play, when if you back it up just, another couple frames here at the top of his drop, he could have already been in motion to release this pass as number 9 is breaking over the middle of the field here. And it likely would have been the same result. But in the NFL, this is all happening much quicker, and you can't always wait or rely on that second reaction to make a play, because it's not always going to be there. The defense isn't going to always allow that. An NFL D lineman might take you to the ground as opposed to you shrugging off the contact when you step up in the pocket. So just one thing to note there, it's a positive result. It's a good play, but in the NFL, just a tick quicker, I think, is what's needed on plays like that, because, I mean, this guy was wide open and was open pretty much the entire play. The design of this play had number 9 open in the middle of the field the entire time. You don't have to wait until he's just sitting here just wide open in the middle of the field with no one else on the screen to get rid of the football.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple positives, a couple negatives. I do think this is one of his better plays that he put up on tape, because it's showing that he feels the pressure, that he could throw in the face of contact, right, and complete the ball. One thing that I've noticed, right, 2 plays in, he's thrown both of them airborne, right? That doesn't really fly at the NFL level. Like, you need to have your feet set. You need to be on the ground, because all of your best plays can't be these out of control acrobatic completions, right? That like you're saying, the NFL is just a step quicker. It's not going to really fly at the next level. It is a great play, right? He made something happen when it could have been shut down. So again, a positive, but there are things in there that I question if it will actually translate.
Yeah. Offensive line not playing too great so far, but in any event, so next play, we're going to run it here. And sensing a bit of a theme here, right? A good scramble. It's a good scramble, right? But you kind of have a crosser here. And in the NFL, you're going to have to win through the air. You have the tight end crossing right now. Just go ahead and hit it. It's second down. Just make that throw from the pocket, because you rely on your legs too much. You're going to take hits that you don't need to take and you can't afford to take over the lifespan of a season in the NFL. So go ahead, hit the tight end right here. Yes, it's a good play. You rolled out of some pressure, and you navigated the scramble for positive yards here. I think 13 yards or so. But why make it more difficult on yourself? Just go ahead and hit the tight end right here. I mean, this is pitch and catch, and he's got the ability to get some yardage, probably the same amount of yardage you got on this play. But save yourself the trouble and hit that throw. So the consistency to navigate or rather operate within the pocket is something that I want to see more of from Dart. There's no reason for him to pull this ball down and not just take the open crosser to the tight end here.
There's a couple things, right? It's he definitely is feeling pressure. He doesn't really have a great opportunity, or he doesn't have a great instinct to go to second reads, right? He's kind of eyeing that first read, and then it fails, and he just kind of panics, right? And it's get out of town. You're right. There's probably eight yards of separation between the tight end and the defender on that the tight end could have gotten a nice gain. Like you said, probably the same gain that he would have gotten had he thrown or run the ball. So, the extra effort that he puts into this, while it looks good on tape and you're kind of saying like, oh, that was cool, it's not necessarily a plus in the yardage category, right? It's not a plus play. The other thing as well, it's like, he's always looking for the big play. I've noticed that, right? He's always looking for the big play, not necessarily the easy play that's given to him. And sometimes at the NFL level, the best guys are the guys that just know what the play is supposed to be, take what's the defense is giving you, and actually get those yardage. He gets them anyway here. So again, it's not necessarily a negative, but it's kind of like a wash.
Yeah, the defense gave it to him, and then he made it harder on himself by having to take it when it was already there.
Exactly.
So you said something pertinent here, so we're just going to go ahead to the next play. And here, I don't hold this too much against Dart, but I really don't like I actually hate this play call. I hate the spacing concept. I think that the read here is this receiver is kind of reading the safeties to see if he's going to cut that route short or not. But the kind of the hitches at the sticks, it really just makes my blood boil. I absolutely hate it. But at this point here, this is 3rd and 5. You see his first read to the boundary side. Take the hitch. Number 3 here is kind of creating a natural rub on the linebacker. You got to get rid of that ball. It's obviously a quick drop. So take the hitch. Just take the hitch right here. That linebacker, he's being impeded some by this receiver, by the design of the play. So take the quick hitch, see if he could fall forward for the first down. It's not as if there's a long developing route elsewhere to go to. I mean, this play is designed to just go to the sticks, read the space, and make a quick throw. And he hesitates. You see him pull it back down, and then at that point, the pressure's there. So it's quick pressure. It's not a good job by his offensive line. And it's not as if there were great options on this play, but you got to take what's there, like you said earlier, and just take that hitch and see if he could fall forward for the first down. He's a yard in front of the sticks, which you don't love either, but that's the play that was called. And I don't like the play that was called, but you have to take what's there, and he doesn't. He hesitates, pulls the ball down, and then takes another hit that doesn't necessarily need to be taken, and those add up.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to learn here other than what we already know, which is that he's always looking for the big play, and you have to get the first down in this instance. You have to just take that curl, get rid of the ball, make it happen, right? Like you said, the linebacker's getting there late, but this is what reminds me so much of like a Drew Lock and a Will Levis. It's you have all the arm in the world, you can make all those big plays, but can you make the little plays that are going to convert first downs time and time again? Maybe not.
Yeah. It's the little things at the quarterback position that make these guys great. So again, we're going to keep it running here. And to your point again about big play, he's going to take a shot at the deep post here. Okay, it's incomplete, but based on the look we get here, I mean, this is middle close the whole way. So pre-snap, the deep safety here is onto his right hash, and post snap he's going to drop dead center of the field. So you have to read this as middle close. So this seems to be a cover 6 type of look here, with 2 deep to the bottom of your screen, and perhaps a deep third played up top. But the middle of the field is closed. This is not nothing in this read here tells you to take a deep post here. That's the route that is absolutely covered here. And you'll notice the crosser is breaking. This corner is carrying this receiver to the middle of the field. And if he's to peel off, he's definitely late if he's not sticking with him. So, I mean, hit this crosser right here. It's another crosser, breaking to his throwing side, and he's not taking it. I mean, this was there at the sticks for a first down. And he was just locked in on the deep post. And it's fine if you read man and you want to give your best player a shot, but that's not what it was here. This is a middle closed look, and he's still taking a shot deep middle. That Javon Holland's going to make you pay for that.
I think I agree with you. I do think that corner stays on that route, kind of that perfect amount of time to make the quarterback really second guess what's happening. So like if you can go back to the original angle, like there is a second there where if you pause it like a second more right there, right? Like there's the opportunity that if he turns to throw this ball on the under route, that corner can drop off and make a play. It has to be thrown perfectly. I think he could have done it. And I also think he could have pumped the deep route and then hit the out route, and it would have been great. But he doesn't do that here. So I agree with everything you said. It's just, again, he's going for the big ball every single time.
Yep. Take what the defense gives. I hate those cliches, by the way, but it's kind of what we got here. So, all right. So next play here. I think this is 3rd and 7, and this is where I start to have issues with Jaxson Dart. So we kind of started this video off, showed him improvising, scrambling, making plays, picking up yardage where the play wasn't there, right? Here, I believe this is like 3rd and 7 or so, and he gets jumpy. His first read's not there, and he immediately, this is not a throwing posture. Okay. First read's not there. This is not how you step up in the pocket when the offensive tackle is making the edge defender run the hoop. You have to step up in the pocket, not hop and do whatever this is and then drift to the left and end up taking contact. So you could see this play and say, well, it's kind of some quick pressure and his first read wasn't there, but it's not that quick. I mean, that's enough time. And you'll notice from the other angle in particular, and we'll run it back from both angles here. Again, 3rd and 7, your tight end's over the middle of the field. So yeah, now you've drifted into pressure by rocking to the left. But if you go back to the other angle here, if your first read's not there, step up and allow that backside cutter from your tight end to, give yourself a chance here. So right here, all he has to do is step up. He's on the hash. He's on the right hash. Step up. There's no need to drift again to the middle here. Just step up and actually just hit him coming out of his break right here. If he's in a throwing posture right now, as opposed to just having his shoulders just completely square to the sideline, he can throw this football right here and hit his tight end out of the break. That's what a tight end is for on 3rd and 7. They're a big body over the middle. Allow him to use that. Instead, he just kind of he's just hopping around in the pocket to try to make something happen when all he has to do is just kind of step up and make a throw and play quarterback instead of be an athlete. And again, it's a sack that I don't think he needs to take. It's a tight window throw if he gets rid of it at the top of this drop here. But again, this is, if we're trying to translate this into the NFL, these are plays that have to be made. I mean, there's a reason the NFL gets rid of the ball in less than 2.5 seconds on average. And it's not because it always looks pretty until that point. So he's not helping himself is what I'm saying. Jaxson Dart is making things more difficult for himself than they have to be.
It's actually kind of funny on this play too, because the outside receiver on the bottom of your screen there wins big. And like, if you're going to give me an opportunity, Jaxson Dart, just to launch the ball like you always want to, why not this play, right? Why not when you have one-on-one man coverage on the outside with your receiver beating the guy by 3 steps, right? Like, that's an opportunity to throw that deep ball. I also think the inside receiver should have attacked the safety a little bit harder on this, because it would have allowed the tight end to get the separation that Jaxson Dart really wants. But because the receiver doesn't attack the safety directly and the tight end kind of gets a little tangled, that half second timing wise just doesn't work out. I agree with you. Dart needs to step up in that pocket way more naturally, way more smoothly to make this play happen. But it was just kind of messy by the inside receivers on this play. I didn't really like that. I just wish he really threw that bottom route, because I think it would have showcased what his arm could be.
Yep, and I get it. That wasn't his read. He was going to the isolated receiver first, and that happens. So yeah, I would like to see him make life easier for himself, because we're rooting for him. No one wants to see him make life harder than it. Life's already hard enough for quarterbacks in the NFL. He's getting this like the third time he's gotten just crunched by Deion Walker. That's 6'7", like 360 pounds. That's not fun. So we're gonna run it again next play here, and again, same thing in the pocket. You'll kind of notice he squares up again and then kind of plays athlete a little bit, and he scrambles here. This is 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and he gets the first down. So, good. But if you have the ability to win from the pocket, take it. Don't take the hit if you don't have to. Pre-snap, this is a complete man look right here. You have man. This is a straight man look. The only difference from pre-snap to post-snap here is that the safety at the bottom of your screen looks like he's going to play deep half to the receiver at the bottom of the screen here, and instead he rotates over to the deep middle. But this is man. The posture of these defenders is man. So if you're reading man and you have an out route to the sticks, take it. Look at the slot receiver up top here. Slot, out to the sticks. Take the chance here. I mean, you're going to have to make those throws. They're not always going to look pretty and easy for you to make in these situations. So yes, again, he's showcasing that improvisation and that scrambling ability to get a first down, but he just got hit by 3 defenders. That's not sustainable in the NFL long term, picking up first downs by running through multiple linebackers to barely make the sticks.
It doesn't just scream Will Levis to you, right? Like that is so Will Levis. That's exactly what that guy does. But I mean, I like that he has legs, right? He does have legs. It's probably NFL average. It's nothing great, but it can do things like this. It can get the first down when you need it to. He's also, again, he's 225 pounds. You don't really have major concerns with him taking a little contact. You never want your quarterback to get bashed, right, by 3 guys, like you said. But at the same time, like, hey, if he's gonna earn those extra yards, fantastic. He needs to hit that out route, 100%. He needs to hit that out route. He needs to win from the pocket. Absolutely, everything you said is valid.
So let's keep going here. I think most of you are sensing some themes here, but again, we're getting into another one here because we're talking about his legs and his scrambling ability, but the footwork as well. We've kind of touched on it or danced around it a little bit when talking about him in the pocket. But here you've got these crossers, and this is 3rd and 9, I believe, as well. This is another 3rd down play, and it seems ho-hum, like kind of a short completion that just doesn't make the sticks. But I have issues with this play as well. So right about here, first off, he's got a really narrow base. He's not set to throw the ball. He should be releasing this ball right here. At this point, number 3 has followed the crosser number 8 too far to recover. There's a natural rub taking place here. I don't know if they're both number 8, if that's just a screen here, but there's a natural rub here, and there's separation that is going to be had as a result. And instead, he takes an extra half second. If you run it back, look at that base right here, straight up narrow base. He's not ready to throw the ball, as he should be on a play like this. Kind of takes that hitch, that extra hitch right there. That makes a difference. That last hitch right there, you're going to see 1, 2. That second hitch right there allows this the trailing defender to recover and gain speed and close on the ball. If this ball is released now, or, if he begins his release now and hits this receiver in stride, he has the opportunity to get a first here. It's still tough because I'm sure the defenders at the bottom of the screen are going to peel off and try to make a play, but you can't be late on these throws. This is a well-designed play, and you want to give your receivers the best chance to get that yak for a first. And he's just a tick late. And it's like, instead of anticipating this right here, he has to wait until the receiver actually crosses into the window, past the official here, before he then throws the ball. It's a tick too late. And again, we said it the last episode, when people say it's a game of inches, these are the inches that you're talking about. That makes a huge difference. And again, if your timing is not yet there in college, in the NFL, when things are sped up even further, how big is that adjustment going to be for you? That's the concern I have, even on a play like this where it's completed, clean pocket, whatever, hits the receiver in stride, but the timing is just not exactly where it needs to be.
All right, so I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on this one. Let's run it all the way back. So I think he's going to this out route at the 40, right? That's his first read, is this out route at the 40. And I don't like this play call, right? Because the receiver at the bottom of the screen is getting covered in man coverage, and the safety decides, I'm playing the sticks, I'm not playing the deep man, right? So I would say that outside receiver needs to be attacking the safety again, right? The play call should have been for a post route for that outside receiver to attack that safety to free up the bottom receiver to get to the sticks and actually have a chance to make this play. Instead, he's double covered at the sticks. Jaxson Dart doesn't really have an opportunity to make a throw to either of those guys. And instead, he has to go to the crossing routes. But what do the crossing routes do? They're way too shallow, right? If you watch this play again, you can see from the beginning that receiver in that cross in the middle of the field, run that back, he actually is going deeper and then has to go under because the top receiver didn't go deep enough himself. So he ends up cutting it short. So I don't know these receivers at Ole Miss very well. I don't know if any of them are NFL prospects, but so far watching them, I've been very disappointed with the discipline and route running on specific plays, especially these kind of third down plays.
We'll talk about Trey Harris in a future episode here, but and that's fair. Just that hitch, man. You don't need that one right there. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and we've mentioned that about a couple of play calls already this episode here, where I like this offense. It's QB friendly, but at some of the situations here, I think Kentucky actually did a pretty good job. I don't know if that's Mark Stoops or what, did a pretty good job countering a lot of what they were trying to do here. But let's run the next play here again. And again, I don't know if he got into a fight with his tight end before the game or what, but I mean, come on. The corner's actually running with the receiver here. Hit him and let him get to the sticks. Let him get the first down. You're sacked because you didn't anticipate the opening here. I mean, the design of this play, and we'll see it from the other angle here, but you have the opportunity to hit the tight end. Make life easier for yourself and take what's there. He's looking right at him. The only thing I could think of as to why he hesitates is because he has not yet read the corner to the right here, not on the screen right now, to see if he would peel off and contest a throw that's going to that sideline near the flat. But the tight end is still within the hashes right here. There's plenty of space to get rid of this ball. You're not throwing him into coverage, even if you can't see the corner on that side of the field just yet. Go ahead and just get rid of the throw here and allow him to pick up some yak. He's looking back at you like, hey, come on, guy.
What you don't know, Ray, is that Ump was an All-American linebacker back in the 50s. Yes. And he knows that. Jaxson Dart knows that. But there's not much to learn on this, right? We've said it. He does not like to take the easy plays. He doesn't like to take the easy throws. Doesn't love to do drop-offs. It's just not part of his game right now. It's funny because a quarterback like this would be so interesting if he sat behind a guy like Kirk Cousins for a year or a guy like Tua, whoever it might be, right? Somebody that plays the game within structure and knows how to hit those easy wins. He would learn a lot in those kind of situations. I would love to see that for him, but probably not going to happen.
Yeah, he anticipates the pressure and the contact in the pocket more than he anticipates the openings in coverage, because there's two things to feel here. It's the tight end going into the open window here and this left guard getting beat here and the hit about to be taken. He clearly plays to try to avoid the hit and not to simply make the play here and gain some positive yardage and very likely a first down here. So anyway, celebration. But okay, so next play here, and now we're going to start to, I think there were some adjustments made after this, and here's what I think gets people excited. Very simply, this is his first read. He has a clean pocket. He's getting set to throw right here before the receiver's out of his break. Look at that. Ball's out, and the receiver's just breaking now here to the sideline. Corner route. I mean, defender falls down, but that throw is just on time, just perfect timing there. And again, I'm going to hammer it here. The other angle I took out because it didn't really show you much, but this is first read stuff right here. He's looking at him the whole way, waiting for that break to happen and then getting rid of the ball. This is first read in rhythm stuff. So when it all works, it's beautiful. It's very pretty, beautiful ball, good motion, hits him in stride, allows him to get some yak up the sideline, chunk play, big gain. First read is great, but what happens when it's not there?
Try to stay on that release point if you can, Ray. Try to pause it at that release point, because I think that there's two things noteworthy on this play besides what you said, right? One is that look at the little effort he puts behind this throw to go 25 yards all the way to the sideline with ease, right? He does have a good arm. Like, he has an NFL arm, and it's better than a lot of the middle tier NFL quarterbacks. Like, this would be higher tier NFL arm because he's making throws like this. The second part is if you pause it right there, you can see that he's actually manipulating his arm angle a little bit to take advantage of the open route that you see here to get to the receiver. So there is the opportunity that this guy has to use his arm in different ways and different angles. That is so common in the NFL now that coaches look for that, right? Like, they want to see that you can throw at different angles to get power behind your arm at different angles to hit your receiver in stride. So there's two really positive things on this play, just arm strength and arm angles that Jaxson Dart has that are kind of better than NFL average.
Yeah, again, that's 6'7", 360 there, trying to get a giant paw up in there, and he's able to throw around it. And we talked about that a bit with Shedeur and whether he has that ability or not. Dart shows it. He's got those arm angles, and that's becoming more and more important in today's game.
Absolutely.
So, all right, nice play, number 9 here. So, okay, so next play, I don't even remember which one this is. Touchdown. Okay. Again, what's the theme here? First read. He gets to just sit in the pocket. He's waiting. He's reading the Twins route up top here. Sees the break, hits him in stride, allowing him to get yards after the catch. Touchdown. Nice ball, nice throw, nice run after the catch. He gives the receiver an opportunity to run after the catch because of his ball placement in stride. Touchdown. But again, you see that he's reading that the whole way, and he's got a clean pocket. Looks pretty. You got a quarterback named Dart who can stand in a clean pocket and make nice throws like that in stride. That's poetry right there. So again, first read, it works. It works with Jaxson Dart. I didn't even give you a chance to talk about that play. I got so excited. Anything you want to add to this, Chris?
Just that, if you notice, it's a 6-man rush. So there was a lot of pressure on him all game. But when the offensive line actually starts to pick it up, right, and guys get to their assignments, Dart does a nice job, right? Like, in a clean pocket, he's doing a really nice job on this throw. So something to keep an eye on. There was constant pressure on him in this game, and I do think that affected a lot of what was happening.
Yep. So next play, I think we only have 2 plays left. And so now we're getting into 2-minute drill territory here. This is 3rd and 11. And there's not too much to take away from this play here. But I want to show you again, this is not his first read, and there's a bit of pressure. And you could kind of read from this play what you want, in the sense that in a 2-minute drill, he's now first off of his first read and has to stay in the pocket. I think the first 2 plays of this drive were an incomplete pass and I think it was a quarterback draw that went absolutely nowhere. So it's 3rd and 11. He has to then go to the backside dig, and he does from within the pocket here. You see that there's pressure in his face up the middle, and he kind of, it's The ball dies on him a little bit, perhaps because of the pressure and or contact. So you could choose to knock him on that if you want, because he can't really step into the throw and just doesn't get quite enough on it. But at the same time, when he has no other choice, he actually goes and hits the backside read here from inside the pocket. So why is it that when he feels like, why is that the last resort, break glass in case of emergency type of deal here, when perhaps he has the ability to do it? That's just, again, that stuck out to me here. 3rd and 11, game on the line, 2-minute drill. They're trying to win the game. And now he's going to his second read, hitting it on the backside from within the pocket, or nearly hitting it. The ball did die a bit. It actually did hit the ground, forcing a 4th and 11.
And he's doing it under pressure again, right? Like, this is, the ability is there when people make their assignments and he gets blocking in front of him. Yes, the running back kind of misses, but he does slow the rush down. But Dart is able to go through and make it difficult throws at difficult arm angles with difficult pressure in front of him. All of those things can happen for Dart. It's kind of like you said, it's like a tale of two tapes, but it's really, what version are you going to get? Do we have to wait till the fourth quarter to see the quarterback that we want? I don't know.
Yep. And so I think this is the last play here, and I could be a jerk, and maybe I will be because sometimes it's fun, but this is 4th and 11, basically game on the line. And this is everything Jaxson Dart: scramble, just heave it up. You can throw across your body and you have the arm strength to actually get it to I think this is a tight end here, and put it in a good spot where he can go up and get it for a first down. So it's like, wow, hooray. And yeah, it is hooray. The game's on the line. This is Jaxson Dart making things happen, which is what gets people excited. At the same time, I'm going to say, why not hit the crosser? Going to the sideline instead of throwing across your body and making it more difficult on yourself. You could have just gone to with your momentum and tried to make that throw to the sideline. Now, again, I'm not going to nitpick a 4th down, basically just do or die play here, but you can anticipate this crosser right here, who's already in front of the safety, and number 14 does not have eyes on him and has kind of been sucked in by this receiver right here at the 40. You can anticipate that window being open, especially when you look at it from the other angle. And that's just an easier throw for yourself that likely also would have been completed if you go back to it, pre-ball release here. There's a nice window right here. You could drop this in front of the 50, and, it's just an easier throw, but that's just me being a jerk about a basically prayer.
Not only is it a easier throw, but one of the issues I had on this throw was that he doesn't settle his feet and he's throwing in the air again. I think there's an opportunity, if he does hit that underneath route, the crosser you're talking about, for him to kind of settle his feet and throw in motion, like in stride. And he would have not necessarily like lofted this ball like he does here. He would have hit the guy in motion and maybe even had some running room for him, right? So while it is a prayer throw that he ends up completing, but it's kind of the end of the game anyway, it's like, why not hit that crosser, give the guy the ability to earn some yak himself? Like right there, settle yourself and throw. Like, it's there for him. You see it. I see it. We both see it. It's obviously an incredible throw that he ends up making, but it's not the throw that he should have made. And I think that's the issue we just keep seeing with Jaxson Dart.
Yep. And that was the end of the game. They converted it, and then a couple incomplete passes, and I think they missed a field goal, and they ended up losing. So big win for Kentucky, which was a tough defense this year. So, just because they're not the traditional helmet game type of matchup here, that was a pretty good defense. We mentioned Deion Walker. We saw what they were doing to that Ole Miss offensive line. They had a lot of answers for what Ole Miss was doing on offense, and you have to see how Dart would perform in that environment here. And a lot of good, a lot of bad, some in between. It's a fascinating prospect to watch, but you kind of wonder if a lot of the hype that's taking place here in recent weeks, post Senior Bowl, kind of leading up to the draft here, is a lot of people just wanting to anoint another name in this quarterback class because they want more options, because it's not necessarily elite at the top at the quarterback position. And everyone, of course, always wants a quarterback at some point in the league.
So where do you think this guy ends up going?
Teams are bad at drafting, Chris.
When? Give me a when.
He should be drafted late day 2. He should be a late second, third round type of quarterback because he has tools, but needs refinement and needs sort of conditioning as far as being able to take what the defense gives him. And that's what should happen. What might happen is someone trades up for him in the late first round because they want a fifth-year option and he gets thrust in and starts by week 5, and I'm not sure I would love that. But I don't think that even with the talk last year leading up to the draft, where people had kind of poo-pooed the class last year, and yet we saw 5 or 6 quarterbacks go in the top 15. I don't think that's going to happen here. I don't think this is a Michael Penix, Bo Nix type of situation. I don't see that. So I think it's possible he goes late first. But I wouldn't take him until late second at the earliest.
Okay. I mean, I think that he's maybe a little bit better than you're giving him credit for. I think that like the guys I compared him to earlier, the Drew Locks, the Will Levises, both went early second round. And I think that's the right spot for a quarterback that, can compete, right? Like he can go in there and compete for a starting job in the NFL. He's not a guy that is going to go and you're not going to draft him to be a backup. Like that just doesn't make sense for this type of quarterback. It just doesn't. So you're taking a shot to get a starter in the NFL. I think you can do that early second round for a guy like this. Saying that, there were 2 teams in the first round that I would say make sense. Like one is Pittsburgh, right? And I think Pittsburgh's picking around 20. Yes, that's too early for him. If Pittsburgh, could take somebody else at that spot and then trade up in the second round and get him, that would be the better scenario. But I do think that that's an offense that he could be successful in, considering you have a guy like George Pickens who wins contested catches and wins down the field, all of the things that Jaxson Dart does well. And it's also a team that's invested a lot of capital in the offensive line over the last few years. But the other team is the one I really would be excited about, and that's the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams.
You're excited for everybody to go to the Rams, Chris.
Absolutely. Give anybody go into the offense of the Rams, I'm feeling real good about, right? And it's because that Sean McVay offense is just so lethal. And I also think McVay's just such a good coach. He can win with just about anyone. But I do think that, the rumors with Matthew Stafford might be real, where the Rams might be saying, and the Rams have been really good at this. When it's time to turn over the roster, they can do it, and they do it really, really well. And they almost don't really miss a beat, right? Like you look at that defense last year, and you could have said with the passing on retirement of Aaron Donald, not like death, the retirement of Aaron Donald.
That sounds really hard.
Yeah, the retirement of Aaron Donald. It would have been really easy for them to just say, all right, like, we're going to suck for a couple of years, but they didn't, right? The defense might have gotten better because they multiplied at that position. They got more bodies in there, and it showed, right? It showed a much more lethal defense that could be more creative and do different things. I do think if the Rams decided to move on from a Matthew Stafford, right? Maybe they get a second round pick for him. The Giants, right? So a team like that makes that trade. It gives us early second round pick for Matthew Stafford. And you're telling me that the Rams, either at the end of the first round or with that early second round pick, can get a Jaxson Dart. I really like that. I really, really like that. And I think that McVay would get a lot of that crap out of his play, and he would make sure that he hits those underneath routes when he needs to.
The thing about McVay's offense and the thing about Jaxson Dart is a see it before you throw it type of quarterback right now, which is a red flag. It's always been a red flag for me. McVay is one of the best in the league at making it seen for his quarterbacks, just by his play design and that the structure of that offense. So in that sense, it mitigates a lot, not all of, but a lot of the issues that Jaxson Dart has as a young quarterback. So yeah, that's why the Rams are such a good fit for pretty much anyone. But yeah, I worry because this is not the type of player that you want to start too early. This is the type of player where if you start him too early, you could ruin the future here because he has the tools, but we saw it. You can't, if you're doing the jump man to convert third downs multiple times a game, you're not going to last. Even if you play the Titans every week, you're not going to last. So you have to operate within the pocket and develop that aspect of your game. Otherwise, you're going to run yourself out of the league literally because of the hits you take or the turnovers you create, because you're not taking the easy way out. You're not taking what's there, what's presented to you, and living to fight another down. So there's a time and place for his improvisation and his scrambling, like it was on 4th and 11 there at the end of the game, but not when you have a tight end over the middle of the field that can pick up the first down for you and you're bowling into 3 linebackers instead. So you have to almost protect him from himself as you develop his game, because he's a young quarterback with the tools, with mobility to get himself out of some trouble. The problem is, at this stage of his development, he is putting himself in as much trouble as he is getting himself out of. So you want to, at least in the early stages of his development, work on that game so that he's not putting himself into as much trouble as he currently is. And then when ready, you allow him to use his gifts to get him out of trouble when when trouble presents itself. So I think even more important than landing spot, or this is all part of landing spot with Jaxson Dart, is the development plan for him and not playing him too early, because that is a huge risk. Could work out, but it's a huge risk and you're playing with some fire there. So I think even more important than which team he goes to, it's when he actually sees the field significantly for that team.
I agree with you. And, it goes back to the coaching discussion we had where it's, the Titans, the Browns, the Giants, the Raiders. It's like, if you go to a team with losing coaching, with coaches that just don't win in the NFL, obviously the Raiders now have changed their coaching, so it's a little different. But the majority of those teams, it's if you draft a quarterback like this, it will be a disaster. So I do feel very strongly about that. But anyway, we are going to continue doing these kind of quarterback reviews. We're going to keep doing our positional reviews as well. I believe later this week, we will be reviewing the edge position. So please continue to tune in. If you haven't yet, give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at all22_PFF, and give us a review wherever you watch or listen to your podcasts. Have a great rest of your day.
Go.